28 hours and change from the official start of the 2025 NBA season, people. The Rockets will open the season against the reigning champs in OKC to tip things off. And speaking of Houston, big news yesterday morning. Kevin Durant will enter the season with a brand new contract extension, 2 years and $90 million. All right, George Sedano here for Malika Andrews, joined by our senior writer, Ramona Shelburne, the Hall of Famer Mark Spears, and our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania. So, Shams, tell us about this deal with KD.
So this deal essentially sets Kevin Durant up to retire in Houston. That's the goal that Durant has set in his mind. That's the goal the Rockets have with it. And so it was important to get this deal done before the start of the regular season. That's what Kevin Durant wanted. That's what the organization wanted. And so he was eligible for a 2-year, $120 million max contract. But with this $90 million deal, he takes a $30 million discount, a significant amount. And it's something that Durant understood when he decided on the Rockets, the Spurs, the Heat as his preferred trade destinations back in June from that trade in Phoenix, that he was going to end up having to sacrifice in this second apron era whatever team he ends up with. So he has 3 years, $145 million total on his Rockets deal. And as we see right there, yes, he gave up some money, but he now has become the highest career earner in NBA history, surpassed LeBron James by about $15 million. Now, Stephen Curry's on his heels. Devin Booker's already like in the top 5, and he's only 28 years old. So, but right now, Kevin Durant, and he's obviously now going to turn 37 here soon, and his goal is to retire in Houston. That's a heck of an accomplishment, although to your point, there's always going to be bigger and bigger contracts. Ramona, what are your thoughts?
Look, he's taken less before. He did that in Golden State. One of those, he took $10 million less. And I think that when you talk about Kevin and how he wants to win, he just put his money where his mouth is. Like he said, I want to win, and I'm willing to take less to keep this core together. And I mean, just look at those numbers. And we've seen other players, especially at this age and in that bracket, right, where you get to have that big raise and you can make $60 million a year. He's making 43 and 46.
Right.
That's a huge reduction that he gave the Houston Rockets to help build that team out around him.
You know, I think with Fred VanVleet being out, this is going to have to be the biggest leadership situation in Kevin's career. If you think about all the other places, there was always somebody else, or he was just too young. But with Fred out, I mean, every game, Kevin is going to have these guys ready. Every game, he's going to have to push them. Artie Smith is like basically connected to him like Ant-Man was in the Olympics, trying to, you know, grow. And so to me, I'm excited to see what Kevin can build to his legacy here. It's obvious that this looks like the last stop in his career. But, you know, can he make this the place that's home? Can he finally have a home, finish with a home?
Listen, he started in Texas in college, and now he could finish it in Texas as well. All right, Durant taking less was even news to his teammates. Check out Amen Thompson's reaction here.
Veterans like Kevin and Fred take relative discounts. What does that make? How does that make you feel that, you know, there's more to go around for young players?
Take what?
Take relative discounts. You know, Kevin took below the max.
Oh, for real? I don't even know that.
So he was eligible for 2 at 120. He took 2 for 90.
Generous guy.
We all knew when we traded for him, and when he came, he wasn't a short-term thing. Nobody planned that, and so good to get to a point where everybody's happy and hopefully finish his career here.
All right, Coach Ime Udoka there saying he hopes KD finishes his career in Houston, as we just discussed. So, Ramona, is this the final stop? Do you believe that to be the case?
I do. I think the fact that he signed up for 2 more years at this level, but also I think you're sacrificing for this team and for this organization. And I know players always like to say, I want to win. I'm doing this so that we can win. I mean, we see in Los Angeles, LeBron James says the same thing, but he didn't take less in Los Angeles. They didn't necessarily he gave a little discount, maybe a haircut, enough to sign Bronny. But this is I can't get over. This is like you just shaved all the hair off. This is that's $15 million less a year.
And Amen Thompson is one of the players that's coming up for a big extension. Right. They already have Sengun locked in. Tari Eason, we'll see if they get an extension done today. Those conversations, it doesn't seem like to me like they're as close as maybe people might think. We'll see what happens there. But overall, I think Rafael Stone, what he's done building this team with all these young players, Kevin Durant taking this amount is so this core and these young players can stay together.
And also, like, he doesn't know he took a discount, but he's never made money like Kevin Durant has, right? And I always think with players, like, Kevin Durant's worth every penny. LeBron James is worth every penny, but especially even at their age, they're still worth every penny. But the fact that he's taking less so that Amen Thompson can get more, Tari Eason can get more, that says a lot in terms of leadership.
Yeah, and I find it interesting that the first game is in Oklahoma City.
Oh, yeah.
Because to me, that's where the legacy should be.
Yeah. Schedule makers knew what they were doing.
Yeah. I mean, and I wonder if there's ever going to be a kumbaya meeting with them, the same way with Melo with the Nuggets. It's been bad there in the past since he's left. But I'd like to see his jersey retired there. But Houston gives him an opportunity, like I said, to put a stamp, possibly try to bring him a championship, and raise his name up in one place where at the end of it, perhaps we say him as a Rocket.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's take a look around the rest of the West here, because this weekend, ESPN experts released this season's Basketball Power Index, or BPI. It's a formula that measures the strength of a team's offense and defense, predicting future performance based on how many points above or below average a team is. Here's how the West looks like. OKC, obviously, is at the top by a significant margin, followed by the Nuggets, the Rockets, and the Clippers in the top 4. Check this out. The Lakers came in at 8th, just below the Grizzlies before this season tips off. Now, health is a factor, and this shows you how important LeBron will be to their success. 8th in the West would have the Lakers likely in the play-in. So, Ramona, where do you have the Lakers in the West at this point?
A little higher than that. I mean, 8th would have them in the play-in, but I'm not sure that they're not a 6 or 7, that with 7 still in the play-in.
Right.
And it's
so close.
It depends on how they start this season, right? They have a relatively easy start to the season. Usually all their games are backloaded into the national TV games and when you get to February and March and April. But if they get off to a bad start, if they get off to, like, let's say they go 6-18 or something before LeBron James comes back from this back injury, things could get really yucky for them. But they also are built around Luka Doncic now. And, if they get off to a great start without LeBron James, that changes the conversation in L.A., too.
Well, look, let's tackle the first part of it because, Shams, we know that the West can be unforgiving. So health, obviously, is the most important factor for this team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm keeping my eye on LeBron James's health, to be specific, and he's been doing some more on the court over the last few days, but I would still look at mid-November as really the earliest timing for LeBron James to return. But this is someone, when healthy, top 10 to 15 player in the league. Yep. They need LeBron James if this team is going to truly contend.
And maybe we can throw that graphic up again. But, Mark, you saw the graphic a second ago. Who's being slept on in the West?
There's some shade in Minneapolis, man.
Okay.
Shade in These guys have been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. Ant-Man, are you seeing this, Ant-Man?
Uh-oh.
Ant-Man, Rudy, are you seeing this?
Yeah.
McDaniels, Conley, y'all being disrespected. That's something that they need to have on their bulletin board every day when they walk in.
Right, back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances.
Yeah, and now you got them 5th. I'm really curious to see.
Clippers are pretty high in this, and I think the Warriors are a little low.
They went to the West Finals 2 years in a row, and they're 5th. That's shade.
Okay.
I want to, but you know what?
What?
Prove us wrong.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
Prove us wrong.
I actually think the Mavs could end up being a little higher depending on what happens. What happens here? Now we have breaking news here. So Shams, what do we got?
Dyson Daniels, the Hawks' two-way stalwart guard. He was the defensive player of the year, runner-up, all defensive first team. He was the most improved player of the year. He's reached agreement 4 years, $100 million rookie contract extension. His agent, Daniel Moldovan, tells me here today. And so he becomes the second player to reach a rookie contract extension today. I think the number is 8 in total as of right now. Christian Braun earlier agreed to a 5-year, $125 million deal. Now Dyson Daniels. Think about the success he had last year next to Trae Young.
Yeah.
They acquired him in the DeJounte Murray trade, and now here a year later. In New Orleans, he was injury-plagued. He was going through ups and downs there. He ends up having an injury-free year last year, plays at a tremendous level defensively. 3 steals per game. Off the top of my head, I don't know when the last time, I think, I had it in front of me. Been a while. Yeah. Gary Payton, the last guy to have as many steals.
That's the number, though, isn't it? $25 million. Everybody's getting $25 million a year.
And by the way, he said, there might have been like some voodoo or something, or a curse going on in New Orleans. Those are his words, not mine, New Orleans. All right.
New year, new me.
Here we go. Talk. Wait. Come on.
Go there early. So I can finish that. get your catches there. Game stops. Now, nothing moves until you say so. Let's go, bring it in.
This competitive spirit we need moving forward.
Training camp, we out.
It's almost time for the real games to begin. Season tips off tomorrow. But first, let's go coast to coast around the association. First up, we head to Sacramento where Russell Westbrook spoke to the media for the first time since signing with the Kings. Let's take a listen.
You know, honestly, man, I haven't in practice yet, and I haven't been able to kind of get on the floor, but things will find its way and figure it out. My job is to be able to come here and find ways to be able to help the organization, help the team in any way I can, and I'll do that.
This is your 18th season. Is it possible this is the last year in the league for you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there it is. Russ had himself a weekend. Not only did he recreate his famous meme, but he joined his new teammates in the annual Kings Fan Fest at Golden One Center. Mark, how do you expect Russ to impact the Kings?
Well, they are super excited to get him. In fact, I talked to Scott Perry, the GM, today, and he said Sabonis. Remember, Sabonis played with him in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Zach and DeRozan, fought to get him on this team in July. So also B.J. Armstrong worked with him at Wasserman. He has some great relationships there. And they really expect Russ to add some intensity to this team that's much needed.
All right, moving on to Milwaukee, where the Bucks held their annual open practice over the weekend. Giannis was in midseason form, throwing down several monster dunks. After practice, he talked about how good the Bucks could be this season. Let's check it out.
We're going to be a problem. We're going to be a problem. We're going to be dangerous. The team is set up in a way that is very, very dangerous. We have a lot of shooting. We have a lot of playmakers, ball handlers. We have a lot of defenders. You know, we can switch. We have an incredible big that can space the floor and be a problem defensively. We are set up exactly how you need to set up to make a statement.
So Giannis sounds confident in his squad, but Ramona, how much of a problem will the Bucks be for the rest of the East?
Look, I bought a ticket on the Amtrak going to Milwaukee a little while ago. It was not as expensive, but I agree with Giannis. I think they're going to be better than people think. I like the Miles Turner acquisition. I like everything they did in the offseason except the fact that they're not probably good enough to get out of the second round. But all that said, I like that he's saying this because he's speaking it into existence. He's trying to set a tone for this team. He's saying, this is what I think. I'm trying to tamp down on some of the off-season speculation or maybe in-season, depending on how they do.
All right, let's head back to college where freshman phenom A.J. DeBenza scored 30 points in BYU's 90-89 loss to Nebraska. This was only an exhibition game, but Mark, you've been around him for a couple of years. What can you tell us about A.J.?
Must-see TV. Wow. Follow him. I talked to a scout recently. He said he went to one of his practices, and with all due respect to Darren Peterson at Kansas, he said, how could you not draft him number one? He's too big, too strong, too competitive, and the sky's the limit for this kid.
He had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals on 10 of 19 shooting, and over a dozen scouts there as well for A.J. DeBenza. We've got a developing story here on NBA Today. Our Shams Charania reported Christian Brown has agreed to a 5-year, $125 million rookie contract extension with Denver. Shams, what more can you tell us about how this deal got done?
He's their starting shooting guard, the three-point shooting that he brings to the table, and he led the league in fast break points last season. Those are all the reasons why they want to keep their homegrown player locked in for the foreseeable future. And their two top executives, Ben Tenzer and John Wallace, they felt it was important to reward him, take care of him, because you think about his fit in that core of Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, now Cameron Johnson coming in as well. They feel like he's an ideal player there. It was very important for them to lock him in. He was part of that 2023 championship team. He didn't have the role then that he does now. They expect another jump from him as really a 40% three-point shooter annually now.
And the Blazers, they locked in 2 of their guys, Shaedon Sharpe and Tamani Kamara. What can you tell us about that?
Big commitments. $172 million total between Shaedon Sharpe and Tamani Kamara. $90 million for Sharpe, $82 for Kamara. You think about the preseason Shaedon Sharpe has already had. He looks like he's a player that's going to break out, ascend. Locking him in was important. And then Kamara was part of the all-defensive team last year. He was really a find. He went from the number 52 pick 2 years ago to now locking in $82 million. And so they really feel good about both of these guys being core members of this team moving forward. And that ownership change that occurred, clearly they still have faith in Joe Cronin and Chauncey Billups to build with this group. So this is the full list of extension players still on the board. One player I would not expect an extension with is Tari Eason here. I just received that in the last 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see. There's still some time left. Detroit's players, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, seem unlikely as well. Ben Mathurin seems unlikely. Jeremy Sohan seems unlikely. Walker Kessler won't be happening. Peyton Watson, I'm told, will not be happening. Just to run through a few of these.
And there's a 6 p.m. Eastern deadline for that. Thank you, Shams, as always. Thursday night, NBA opening week rolls on, and we have another doubleheader on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. A finals rematch, Thunder at Pacers at 7:30 Eastern, followed by Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets taking on Steph and the Warriors. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq are back to tip-off coverage at 6:30 Eastern. And speaking of the Pacers, Rick Carlisle stopped by for our Coach's Corner to discuss how Indiana's offense will have to adjust without Tyrese Halliburton.
All the great coaches embrace change. You've clearly done that. It's been pretty amazing to watch, particularly the way your teams have played offensively, and we're going to talk about some of that offense right now. Talk us through these actions and some of the personnel involved and what you're trying to get out of this.
This is an old Ron Rothstein play. He used to call it X when he coached the Miami Heat. When he was an assistant for me in Indiana back in 2003, we called this play sideline. And it's a unique play because it's a pin-down play that starts off the sprint here, and it's a single screen by Ben Shepherd, and then you get the double screen by the two bigs. So here comes Mathurin. He's great coming off shooting to his, going to his right. Defender gets behind, and that's just a rise-up, catch-and-shoot three, and he was a big reason we got to overtime. We were able to win.
One of the things I liked about this set, and I ran sets as a player where this is like the cross screen and then off the double, but a lot of times the screen would take place if you could stop it right here. Like a lot of the action sometimes would be Mathurin screening across the lane and then up. Instead, you have that opposite wing coming all the way over to this side of the floor, which gives Mathurin even more chance to get separation. It's a little bit further for him to run into that shot, but I like that little wrinkle. I think I like the way that this screen is set even better.
Well, in today's game, you want to utilize all the space available. He goes on a dead run out of the right corner and ends up at the top of the key, and then, you know, the screening here is very good.
Now, Ben Mathurin is a guy that you look at and say, you know, do you expect even more of a breakthrough, maybe more responsibility without Tyrese on the floor? Is he going to? Do you expect even bigger things out of Ben?
Yeah, I've basically said that it's his job to lose as a starter. You know, with Nembhard bumping over to point, with Tyrese being out, he's expected to be the starting two. He's going to have to guard a lot of the better players. You know, defensively and offensively, he's going to carry a load of score.
And we saw another guy on there, TJ McConnell. Can't say enough about what he did in the finals. So, look, this is going to be a challenging year. You laid it out. I think if I know you, you probably like the challenge a little bit as well and see what you can get out of this group. So, best of luck to you. Appreciate your time, and hopefully you have a healthy season.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thanks.
For it.
Awesome stuff by Legs there. As always, our Coach's Corner series continues tomorrow with Warriors head coach Steve Kerr as he breaks down the dub. Jersey Day, a day for fans to wear their team's jersey, take pictures, and flood the socials with team pride. And not just the fans, but franchises across the NBA posted all the new and vintage threads their players will be sporting this season. In addition, 5 NBA teams have announced classic edition jerseys. The Timberwolves, Sixers, Grizzlies, Mavericks, and Cavaliers all will be sporting jerseys that celebrate successful eras for each franchise. Donovan Mitchell is one of those stars looking to get his franchise back to the more successful times. And he's the focus of our guy Mark Spears' diary this season. Let's take a listen.
That's a special night. I mean, obviously, I'm from New York. I'm from their hometown team. They beat us in the playoffs. They got a talented team, and people slate us as the 1 and 2 seeds in the East. What better way than to start the season that way? I'm always going to be personally invested because I'm from there, but I think just from a competitor standpoint, they've made it farther than us, and we're trying to get to where they've gone. We haven't even gotten there yet. We're trying to get to that point. Crazy crowd, opening night. We got to go out there and handle business and set the tone on the season. What's up, y'all? I'm Donovan Mitchell. This is my diary on ESPN and Skate. Episode 1. Let's go. I decided to do this because I feel like You gain your own narrative. A lot of people don't really know me. I don't think they understand who I am. I think they have glimpses of it. I think they have glimpses of me as a person and also as the athlete. They know about me. They know little things, but I think this gives you an insight on just who I am. When you lose in such a dramatic fashion, in a situation where you're not expected to lose, you don't expect yourself to lose in general, let alone like that, you take some time to yourself, and then you get the schedule, and then you're like, oh, all right, we're on TV a lot. Okay, cool, we got a Christmas game. Oh, we're in New York to start the season. Like, it gets you fired back up. And not to say you weren't, but it just changes. When did I know? The first date is when I knew. Shout out to Sierra and Russ. They helped out a lot, and it was great. I mean, she knew it was coming. I don't know if she knew it was coming at that moment. I don't think she did, but it was special. You know, special vacation, special trip, and everything worked out, you know, perfectly. Cannot reveal a date, but everything's going great.
That was a beautiful picture there at the end. The Cavaliers' offense last season was dominant. They led the NBA in points per game, offensive efficiency, and effective field goal percentage. Cleveland also set a franchise record with a point differential of 9.5. Oh. Mark Spears, you have these diaries with Donovan Mitchell dropping monthly. Check them out at Andscape for the full version. It drops tomorrow. What's the biggest thing you learned from speaking with Donovan?
He was crushed after that loss at the end of last season. He told me it took like a month to get over it. And what else helped him get over it? He went on the road with his now fiance, Coco, and went on the bus, went to her concerts, said he got the best sleep of his life on the bus, and then just got back in the lab, got to work. He texted core four, the rest of his teammates. He told them one more rep, one more step, one more lift, like to push and work hard. And the Cavaliers actually came a couple weeks earlier than expected to training camp. But Donovan said the expectations speak for themselves.
Donovan, I'm on the road like 5 days a week this time of year. I need you to call me and motivate me like that, too. I need one more rep, too, at every gym.
I can't get over getting good sleep on the bus.
Yeah, seriously, I can't either. But all right, what about Garland, though? So Darius Garland coming into the season with an injury. What do we know about the expectation for his potential return?
Well, there's no status update for him. He just practiced today. His conditioning still needs work. He has told me that he hopes to be back early in the season, but right now he's just getting closer. He's not quite there yet from the toe surgery.
All right, fair enough. Thank you, Mark, and of course, check it all out on Andscape all season long. The NBA season tips off tomorrow night on NBC, but our first doubleheader is on Wednesday on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. First, we have Cavs-Knicks, and then the regular season debut of Cooper Flagg taking on Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. NBA tip-off with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq debuts on ESPN at 6 Eastern. Joel Embiid made his preseason debut on Friday against the Timberwolves. So Joel Embiid on the floor, the big fella. Here he is, one-on-one, knocks down the jumper.
First basket in 238 days.
Yeah, getting himself going early there. Midway through the first, Embiid gets the ball at the top of the key. Pump fakes, drives. Layup there is good. Collapse the defense. Under a minute left in the second, Kelly Oubre Jr.
This is when I knew he was back.
Yeah, and Embiid,
coast to coast.
Embiid now goes coast to coast. Okay, for a layup. Okay, big fella. Embiid active on both ends. Started the third. Tyrese Maxey kicks it out to Embiid, knocked down the three. Embiid 14-7 and 8 assists with 3 steals. Sixers go on to win 126-110. Here's Embiid on where he thinks he fits this season.
I'm here to help. According to a lot of your peers, I'm not even a top 100 basketball player in this league. So I guess I just gotta fit in and see where I can help a team win basketball games. So if that's playing defense and stretching the floor, that's what I'm going to do.
All right, sounds like we have a motivated Embiid as we approach the start of the season here. What impression did Embiid make in his first game action, Ramona?
Honestly, this was a lot more than I thought he was going to do. I thought they were going to be really cautious with him, playing 12, 15 minutes again. He went 19 minutes. I think he could have even played more. And the question is, how does he come back from it? He's already on the court. I just saw a practice video of him 2 hours ago in Philly, and he looks pretty good. And so the big issue with him is not just how he looked on the court in this game, which he looked pretty darn good, was how was he going to recover from it? How would that knee hold up Saturday, Sunday, into Monday? And he looks pretty good as we approach the season.
We'll see what happens with Paul George, but if Embiid's healthy, then there's another team in the East we got to start talking.
He also was trolling a little there. Did you hear that?
What's that?
He also trolled a little there. He put it
he did.
there.
Yeah, he trolled us.
Top 100.
Hey, Joel, it's an algorithm, okay? I'll explain one day when I see you. How about that? On the way that thing works itself out.
But that's the old Joel.
Yeah. No, it is. That's what we want. Troel. We like Troel. All right, coming up from opening tip of the NBA season, our next guest was in the Suns front office when Devin Booker made that last shot there. Three-time NBA champ, former GM, the man LeBron James called one of the greatest shooters he's ever played with. James Jones has a new position in the league, Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations. Thanks for joining us, James. All right, for those that don't know, this position was formerly held by Joe Dumars, who's now in the Pelicans front office. James, you took over this role this summer, so what's the most exciting part about the NBA season now tipping off tomorrow for you?
Can't hear the sound.
Oh, I think we're having some technical difficulties with James.
Can you hear me? I'm not getting the sound.
All right, so we were having some technical difficulties with James. Let's go. We'll get back with James just a second. So in case you missed it, all right, let's get to some of these best trick plays in NBA history. Look at Andre Miller. Faking a timeout and then going coast to coast.
That's Andre.
So good.
One of the greatest IQs in basketball history.
I don't even recognize him when he was young like that. He played for so long.
And then Scottie Pippen off the back of Danny Ainge for the dunk.
And
that was number
even
4.
Better that it's off the back of Danny Ainge.
That's never good. Shane Battier did that to somebody once, but he didn't dunk it. Yeah.
My God, Danny.
All right, number 3, JaVale McGee fakes an injury before a dunk. Look at this. He's hobbling. He's off the court.
Oh, my God.
Man, come on, man. I've never seen that one before.
Great.
Is that actual play?
It is.
That's
Anthony
funny.
Davis, look at AD cracking up.
Laughing.
Jay Kidd, I mean, we remember this
I'll never
one.
forget that.
Oh, that was the word. That was
spilling the drink.
He got fined for that, didn't he?
That's
look at that. Hit me.
Hey, that's Oakland right there. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Exactly.
Look at Lawrence Frank on the bench there, too.
Jay Kidd, I would have done the same thing. And then here's one. Marcelo Huertas using Spo to get a steal.
Oh.
Goran Dragic didn't know he was coming. Look at that. Shout out to Marcelo Huertas. All right, so we're back here with James Jones. Again, James, Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations for the NBA. Can you hear me now, my man?
I can hear you. By the way, the JaVale McGee faking an injury to get a dunk is classic.
Yeah, that should have been number 1. If we're being honest, like, no offense to Marcelo Huertas, okay, that should have been number 1. But, all right, JJ, let me ask you this. Season's about to tip off. You're in this new role. What is going to be exciting for you as we get ready to tip off a new season?
Man, so the season this year is so competitive. When you look at the landscape of the NBA, you have all these emerging teams, all these established teams. The storylines are great. And you have a champion in OKC, a young team that's looking to repeat across a field of veteran teams that are looking to get back on that pedestal. So I'm excited about the level of competition that we'll see to start the season and hopefully to end the season as well.
Now, you're in charge of a lot of rules, okay, and enforcing those rules. We've heard about the heave rule at the end of the quarters, which I like. They've been doing that in the G League for a while. But Steph Curry's been talking about this high five rule. He says it's long overdue. You were a heck of a shooter. You won a three-point competition. We mentioned that LeBron called you one of the greatest shooting teammates he's ever had. What do you make of this rule, and why was it implemented now?
Well, you know, the spirit of the high five rule initially was to just make sure that when defenders competed at the point of release, they weren't penalized for actually trying to contest shots. And at some point it morphed into the shots were gone and guys weren't really competing. They were really just taking shots on our guys. And so to protect shooters and to make sure that like there was honest competition at the point of release, we felt we needed to address it. And if we can take the egregious ones out, guys trying to deliver shots and kind of intimidate shooters and get back to pure competition, I think that's when you see the plays that we love, which are highly contested shots under duress when guys make great plays. And that type of pure competition is what our performers need.
Now, listen, every crafty shooter out there will try to find an edge. All right, remember the leg kick, the Reggie Miller rule. What do you make of a potential shooter trying to take advantage of this high five rule? Is that possible? You were a great shooter.
I mean, I think like all things, our players will try to find an edge, and we just have to be diligent and make sure that we don't allow them to make these non-basketball moves. But that's the nature of our game. But our referees are keen. They're honed. They're locked in on it. They'll do a good job making sure that they strike a good balance and hold the line of like honest competition and marginal contact.
Look at that man right there. Look at that stroke right there at that three-point competition by this man right here. Look at that young fella, James Jones, back in the day, hitting those shots. All right, now let me ask you this: you're in this new role. You are not that far removed from playing. You were a GM recently, as we talked about to start the program here. So, for you, what is it going to be like if you have to, I don't know, potentially find someone who either you played against or, God forbid, even a former teammate? How does that work?
I mean, it's a standard that's equal amongst the league. At the end of the day, my job is to maintain a standard, because I truly believe if you can set a high standard, a high bar, our players are good enough to overcome it. And so they don't need any help. They don't need anything except clarity on what the rules are and where the lines are. And when you give them that clarity, they're able to go out there and perform. So I'm not concerned about that. As long as I can continue to do it fairly and equally, I think the guys will respect and appreciate that, and they'll keep it moving.
All right, you hear that, players? James ain't going to take it lightly on you just because he played with you back in the day. That ain't going to matter, okay? So, all right, let me ask you this. Speaking of players you played with back in the day, we just showed a bunch of pictures of you and LeBron. He's 40. He's going to be 41 on December 30th. How surprised are even you that he's still going at the rate he's going right now?
I mean, he's the best. I mean, he's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play the game. That's to be debated. But what I do know is he demands greatness from himself. And when someone really pushes for greatness, you're never surprised. So am I impressed? Yes. I think most people are. But he's a guy that's always said he'll play as long as his body and his mind are engaged. And he's been doing that for the last 23 years, and he shows no signs of slowing down.
James, thank you so much. The Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations for the NBA. A pleasure having you on NBA Today. Great to see you.
Thanks again.
You got it. There he is. Let's take one final look back at the preseason. It's top of the top best plays of the 25 preseason. We start with the top moments at the Horn. Olivier Sarr against his brother's team. How about that? An alley-oop to beat the Wizards.
Well, he ain't there no more, but
it's a great
nice memory.
It is a nice memory. Him and the Raptors. All right, Ousmane Dieng, three-pointer to beat Denver.
Big shot.
A leaner. How about Cason Wallace?
So nonchalant.
And how about Cason Wallace here over the backboard? Like Anthony Carter.
That's my fourth shot.
Remember Anthony Carter did that in a playoff game back in the day in Madison Square Garden?
It's so hard not to hit the timer on top there.
Yeah, for sure. Top of the top, rookie Cooper Flag with the behind-the-back crossover on LaMelo.
The point guard, isn't he?
Yeah, and then hit the jumper in his face.
A little taller.
Goodness.
And how about this play here?
Okay.
Danny Wolf.
Great ball handling.
What's he like, 7-1?
Yeah, fake behind the back, no look pass,
nice.
And then the slam. And how about BJ Edgecombe?
Hey!
Oh, we're gonna see a lot of this year.
Yes, sir.
He's a beast. He reminds me of D. Wade.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Good call.
Good. Yeah.
How about the best five-hole moments? This is Jace Richardson. Pass between the defender's legs. Little nutmeg action. Sitting down. Leads to a Tristan da Silva jam. And then, of course, you wouldn't have a nutmeg if LaMelo wasn't involved here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And this lob then to Brandon Miller.
Yeah. It's like Globetrotter plays with him.
And you could just see the defender from Memphis
He
like,
knew it coming.
Man,
he knew it was coming.
You got me.
You're his teammate. Keep your eyes open.
Finally, top stuffs. Wendell Moore Jr. Look at this poster.
Okay.
Oh, I was in studio.
Kind of fun.
I was in studio with Whitney when this happened that night.
I love how quick the dude took the ball out, too.
We all jumped out of our seats in this studio. How about this? Oh, Stephon Castle.
Well, I'm glad to see James Wiseman's back out there, though. I know they want to get
dinged up, though, right now, isn't he? He's hurt.
I mean, he was in the, well.
But Johnny Furphy.
Oh.
Come on, Furphy. Furphy. And the haircut, too.
Sign him up now.
Contest.
Poster stuff there for Furphy. I need Furphy in the dunk competition.
Yes.
All right, here's a look at your preseason statistical leaders. Points per game, Luka, 28.
Oh, but he played 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's still preseason. He still led the league.
Okay.
Slightly less than the career average there for him. In rebounds, Khalil Ware, 11.5. He averaged just under 7.5 as a rookie last season. And assists, Trae Young and Alperen Sengun, 8.7. Let's go, Point Sengun.
Okay.
They need one. And a still developing story here. It's the final day of the offseason. Now it's front offices racing to the clock as rosters lock in at 5 Eastern, right? So rookie extensions are due by 6 Eastern, and the veteran deals with 2+ years left must be done by midnight. That's a lot to digest there, so hopefully you got it. Let's break it down. Who's still in play and which situations are worth watching here? So we had a list for you, but the big thing that Shams broke here earlier was Christian Brown. 5 years, $125 million. What does it mean, Ramona?
Well, somewhere Calvin Booth is sitting back saying, I told you so. This guy was really good. They decided to let Kentavious Caldwell-Pope go, and he had an offer that they could have matched. It was $22 million a year. They ended up giving $25 million a year to Christian Brown, who's younger, who's taller, who actually was able to shoot at a similar clip to KCP. Got Hobbs, and is a favorite of Nikola Jokic. When you see them in the locker room, first of all, when they go from the locker room to the court, he runs onto the court with Jokic now. You know, he sprints out there. He goes out there at halftime. Those two guys, they really get along well, and I think that's a real good find for the Nuggets front office. And also, you know, Calvin Booth's not there anymore, but that was what he was trying to do. Build that second timeline of young players and draft and develop.
And here's that list I was referring to a moment ago of eligible for rookie extension players. Again, the deadline is 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Sorry, Easton's going to have a nice market if
they need Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Benedict Matherin's going to have a big score.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Shams will have it for you. So keep your Twitter locked, is what I would say. Or unlocked, actually. Opening week's got no shortage of must-see matchups, and rosters will be officially set, as we mentioned, shortly. So let's go around the horn here. Which matchup are you most fired up to see this week?
Oh, I want to see you're going to this game, right? I want to see the Thunder and the Rockets. I mean, those are the 2 top teams. You can put Denver in that category, too, in the West. But the Thunder is newly constructed around Kevin Durant. They get a shot right away at the defending champs. He's playing against his old team in Oklahoma City. I want to see the reception he gets. He's had a lot of history.